Hello, Jeff Erdman, E.D.S. Inc. Shandon. Welcome. We're here today doing a project on the shop. You can tell right behind me that there's some framing going on. But what's happening is I'm readjusting my shop so that I have a separate machinist area. So I'm in here, it's about 7 p.m. and everybody's gone home so I can work and get something accomplished. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing. I'll show you what my plans are, how it's eventually going to work out, and then we'll get into doing some of the structure, and you can watch me do some welding and a few things like that. So let's get going. Okay, well, this is my Ajax mill. Now, some of you have seen this before. We had that originally over in this corner here. I still have all my tooling and stuff up against this wall. Have yet to move that stuff. But I wanted to make a separation between my machining area and my wood shop, because I'm continually getting a great deal of sawdust all over everything. Especially when they use that big old bandsaw, it seems to stir up a great deal of dust in the air. It just kind of settles down. If you look at my Ajax mill here, you can see the dust covering that thing. Now, we moved these over here. This was at the very limit of my forklift. In fact, I had to weight down the back of the lift with every bit of steel I could find to pick it up without raising up the back wheels on the lift. Don't mind the mess, we haven't organized yet. But basically, this is where the Ajax mill is going to be. This is going to be our surface grinder here. We're going to have it right beside the mill. Now, a lot of you will say, well, why in the world are you doing that? Well, it's called space, real estate. I don't have enough of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a curtain down that comes right down here and that divides these off, so that when I'm doing my grinding I can pull the curtain and prevent that dust from getting on my other machines. Over here we'll have where this box with tooling and stuff is now, most all of that stuff will be up on walls and racks, and we'll have our other grinder here. I have a tool cutter grinder, and I'm going to set that there. We'll have either that grinder that you see here sitting exactly where it's at. And this one here, we might have this sitting where it's at, where you see it right now. And we'll take this one, and I'm probably going to put some buffer wheels on it. I'm going to use it for buffing and stuff, clean it up and what have you. And I'll probably set that over on the other side of our lathe. This is my Monarch lathe. I have to tear into that and restore that. And again, don't mind my mess. I got parts and pieces everywhere as we've made this move. I wanted to keep everything on it that belongs to it. And so then we have another grinder here. I might put that out in the shop, the metal shop. I've already got a small one there, but he could use some buffing wheels. So I might convert the other one over to buffing wheels and use this one for tool grinding and that sort of thing in his shop. So I'll have to wait and see how I make that work, or we may end up trying to sell one of them. Over here, this is where my surface plate will be. I've got the top of it covered right now, trying to protect it a little bit here. But my surface plate will be set up over here. I still have to make some adjustments to the stand. But that's coming later. I've got a lot of things to do in here before I do that. This is, well, why am I doing this? Again, I wanted to make a separation between my wood shop and my machine shop. And what I've done, and this side of the shop over here, where you see these ladders and the saws set up over here and everything, this is my shipping and receiving. We want to also make a demarcation between the shipping and receiving part of the shop and our machine shop. So we built this wall and to make a separation, but also I wanted a wall that I could hang tooling and what have you on. And so on the other side of this wall, the side that the machines are on, it's going to be all plywood, and then we'll be kind of like that back wall over there. And this wall over here will be covered with 3/4 plywood as well. And then I'll be able to hang up my tooling on those walls, and that way it'll better service my machines. I'll put all the parts and pieces that I need for those machines, the wrenches and everything there. And on this side of the wall, this is going to be shelving for the shipping and receiving side. And then up on top, we're going to have a floor up there and another wall that's going to go from this corner all the way up to that purlin up there. It's about 10 feet. So that nothing will fall back into the machine shop that they set up on top of this wall. So anyway, so I'm going to be doing the steel welding today, and I'll let you walk along with me on that. Okay, so you can see the top of this steel tube. I've got another one over there and one against the back wall. You can see it barely against the studded wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to span that all the way across with a 2" by 6" by 1/4" wall steel tube. And then we're going to put a lid on top of this, a floor, with 1 1/4" plywood. I bought at auction. And then there'll be a wall from the top of this, the top of this, all the way up to that purlin up there. And that wall will prevent anything that's stacked on top of here than being kicked over onto the machining shop that's right over here. And so that'll be a barrier between the machine shop and the shipping and receiving. Now what I have to do is I have to put some parts onto the steel. I'm going to take this, weld it onto this, sticking up 6 inches past here, and that way when I put that steel tube up there, it's not going to roll off this side. The stud on the opposite side will prevent it from going over. Okay, we'll try this again. I'm having problems with batteries. All my batteries have been run down dead, so I've got this plugged into the cord now. Anyway, I'll start all over. The tops of these tubes, I've got 3 of them that run all the way back to that back wall, one in the center. And I'm going to put a 2 by 6 steel tube across that and weld those to the tops of that. Then we're going to build a platform at the top of this out of 2 by 10 material and cover that with 1 1/4" plywood. And then we're going to, on this edge of the wall, we're going to build another wall that goes all the way up to that purlin up there. That way anything that they're putting on this wall can't get shoved over onto the machine shop. So that's what we're going to do here. And tonight I'm going to be welding up some plates onto this steel tube, this here. I'm going to put that about 6 inches above the top of that 3 by 3 tube and weld it onto it so that when I put my steel tube across here, it won't roll off and fall on top of the machines here. So it's kind of a little protective thing. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So I'll get the camera all set up on a stand, and you can watch me do this on the first post, and we'll work our way down to the back end. Okay, I have the bracket clamped to the post. I got it set at the right height I want it. I've got myself grounded here, and my welder here. Just get my gloves on and we'll put some bead on this. It's not really a structural piece, it's really kind of a temporary part to help keep this from falling off. That'll do is kind of brace this post and that with that wall there. I tied the two together. The others are all on end walls and they're braced together. So I figured, well, I'll put something here. I'll drill through that, put a screw into it, and that'll help brace this movement back and forth. So let's move on to our next post. I've got a ladder set up over there. If I can move it enough to get in, shouldn't take me too awfully long to get set up. So I'll just reposition you all. This time you won't have the light in your eyes. How's that sound? We're right there. Let me see if I can get you up there. And that's the top of our post, and that's a 2x6 post. Like I said, that's got a 1/4-inch wall on it too. Like I said, I'm repurposing. We did have a big old rack made out of this stuff that we tore all apart, and then now I'm using it for another purpose. Let me go get my plate, get back in there, and we'll weld that. Okay, I'll bring you in here while I'm drilling these. I'm going to be in your way for a second. Can't be helped. Tight quarters back in here. Okay, I'm going to be drilling this with 5/8 masonry bit with my Hilti rotor hammer. Okay, so I've got the 2x6 tube, 1/4-inch wall, 2x6, and it's strapped to the two forks on my forklift. This is probably about 80 pounds or something. I don't want to be up on a ladder trying to maneuver with it, so what I'm going to do is lift it with the forklift. It's below the forks because the top of this is in line with the top of my my top plate on my stud wall. So it has to be below the forks so that I can set it down onto the brackets where it's supposed to go. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll set you up so you can watch that, and we'll get on moving. Well, this is Jeff Erdman. It's been quite a night, had fun. We're closing it up for this evening. We got our beam in, and as you can see, we got that all the way across, and not without mishap. When I was trying to put in this one here, since I couldn't get the forklift right where it should have been, I miffed up and it fell, and it came down, and this is where it crashed. It hit this, came over, and I'm hoping my DRO's not totally hurt or damaged. I don't see any dents in it, but it hit that and then came down and hit the floor. So anyway, so that was my excitement this evening. As you can see, I've wasted some pretty valuable tooling right there. Made me sick, but that's the way she goes. So this is the wall my son built off of a drawing that I had given to him. He did a very nice job. This is our forklift. We have two, an older one, and this one I just acquired, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. It's got a 6,500 weight capacity, and it barely moved my Ajax mill. I had to hang a bunch of weight off the back end of it to move and be able to stir with it. But I got this at a really unbelievable deal, $3,450 I paid for it at an auction, and it ended up, it was the maintenance department's lift. They kept it personally for their own use, and it is in immaculate shape. It's in really nice shape. So I got a really good deal on that. Anyway, thanks for joining us this evening, and we hope you continue to watch E.D.S. Inc. Shandon. Thank you.